Okay, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at key features of graphs. So we're going to give you some graphs, we're going to identify the key features. So your intercepts are the point where it crosses either or touches either the x or y axis of your graph. Domain is the possible x values, and range is the possible y values. So for domain, you want to look like kind of like left to right. And then range, we're going to look from like down to up. So how low to how high? Maybe I'll say low to high. Okay, increasing, decreasing, there's a little picture up here to help you with it. But when you're reading the graph left to right, increasing means the y values are getting larger. And decreasing means the y values are getting smaller. I think it's important just to note here, both of these domain and range and increasing and decreasing are going to be written as intervals. Okay, whereas intercepts and extrema are written as points. So like an x and a y. So your extrema, exactly like it sounds, is a minimum or maximum point. It's not going to be infinity, although in this case, sorry, so just make sure it's a point. Okay, let's try a couple together. So x-intercepts, we're looking on the graph where it crosses the x-axis. So there's two spots. It looks like it crosses at -1 and at 3. So your x-intercepts would be the points -1, 0 and 3, 0. Your y-intercept is going to be where it crosses the y-axis. So look up and down, it crosses at -3. So this ordered pair to be 0, -3. Okay, domain, you're looking how far left to how far right. So if you keep going, this arrow over here is going up and to the left, up and to the left, up and to the left. So it goes all the way to the left, so we call that negative infinity. If it will keep going and going to the left, it's negative infinity. This right side of it goes up and to the right, up and to the right, so it will continue to go to positive infinity. Okay, range, now we care about how low and how high. The lowest spot on my graph is down here, where that y value of -4 is. So -4 is the lowest, and the highest goes to infinity. So the infinity would get a parenthesis, the range gets, the -4 and the range gets a bracket because it actually touches that point. Okay, so then where it's going increasing, I think it just maybe to start and just look at your graph for a minute. If I start tracing my graph, like as I go left to right, this is going downhill. So from here to here, it's decreasing. And then the part on the right, then it kind of turns directions and it starts going up. So this is increasing. So we're going to write an interval over here for these two. Notice these intervals, just like a little heads up, is we always use x values for these intervals for increasing and decreasing. You'll also use x values for domain, right, because it's your x values. So the only interval that you write with y values is the range. The reason why we use x's rather than y's is your y's can sometimes end up being the same for increasing and decreasing. It's a little heads up. Okay, so decreasing. It comes from the left and goes all the way up into the x value of 1. So if you trace up from where that changing point is, it's at 1. So it would be from -infinity until +1 that it's, oh sorry, that's the decreasing interval because I was going down. So from -infinity to +1, it's going down, so that's decreasing. Starting at that spot, so at 1, it starts going up, and it keeps going up and up and up, up and to the right, up and to the right, so it goes all the way to positive infinity. Your extrema here is like you're basically looking for the vertex, the minimum or maximum point. So here we have a min, and it is at the point 1, -4. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, let's start with our x-intercept. It crosses the x-axis here at 3. So 3, 0. Y-intercept, it crosses the y-axis down at -7. So 0, -7. The domain is how far left. If you look at the left side of that graph, it keeps going left and left, left. So that's -infinity. And then we're saying how far right, and it goes up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right, and it never stops, so it'll go all the way to positive infinity. Range is how low to how high. You'll notice the lowest, not necessarily the lowest point, but this part of the graph is lowest, and it's at the number -8. So -8 is the lowest, and it keeps going up and up and up, so it goes to infinity. In this case, the -8 actually gets a parenthesis because we never actually touched -8. Okay, and as we look at the graph being increasing or decreasing, as you go left to right, we'll notice it's always going up. So your entire graph here on this side, right, is increasing. It's always going up. Even if it's steeper at some spot than others, it's always increasing. So there will be no decreasing interval. It's like not applicable or something. And our increasing interval would be all the way from -infinity to +infinity, right? All the way from the left, all the way to the right. In this case, there's also no extrema because there's no specific point that's the lowest or highest. Okay. Next, we're looking at, we got an absolute value. We got two x-intercepts. We got one at -5, so -5, 0, and one at 1, so 1, 0. Your y-intercept is at a +2, so 0, 2. Okay, domain again. It's going down and to the left, and it goes down and to the right, down and to the right. All we care about left and right is for domain, so it goes all the way left, it goes all the way right, so -infinity to infinity. Range, now how we care about how low and how high. We already said it goes all the way down, but the highest point is this vertex at the top, which has a y value of 6. So it would go from all the way from -infinity up until 6. Since it touches that point, we get a bracket. Okay, let's look at increasing. So we're looking as we go left to right here, it is going up, so it's increasing on that side. And then we have that vertex, and it turns down, so this part is decreasing. So we're looking at the x values. So the increasing part is on the left side, so it goes all the way to the left. So -infinity up until what x value is that vertex at? It's at 2. -2, sorry, not +2. And then it starts decreasing at -2, right? That's the turning point, and goes all the way to the right. It's going down, 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 so it's infinity. In this case, your vertex is a max. It's a high point, and it's at the ordered pair, point -2, 6. Okay. We're going to practice just a couple more just for fun, so make sure we got it before you go into your assignment for today. Okay, x-intercepts. We've got -7, 0, and we've got 1, 0. Your y-intercept is at -1, so it'd be 0, -1. Domain is -infinity to infinity. It does go all the way to the left and all the way to the right. Range is your low to high, so your lowest point is at -4. Gets a bracket because it touches it, and it goes up, 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 so infinity. Okay, as we look at increasing and decreasing, we'll notice the first part as we go left to right is going down, so that's your decreasing interval. So since on the left it's -infinity up until the x value of -3. And then starting at -3, it turns around, right? And it goes up, and it keeps going up and up and up. So it's increasing, so that's to infinity. In this case, your extrema is a minimum. There's a low point, and that is at the point -3, -4. Okay, next one, x-intercepts again. We got an x-intercept at -1, 0, and at 3, 0. Well, our y-intercept is not necessarily at a nice point, so we'll just have to estimate it. That's okay. It's at 0, and then 1.5, we could say. Your domain, we're saying how far left and how far right, so it goes down to the left, down and to the left, so it'll go all the way left. It goes down to the right, down to the right, so it'll go all the way right. Our range is limited, though. We said it goes all the way down, it does not go all the way up, right? The highest point has a y value of 2, so -infinity to 2. Okay, it is increasing from -infinity to, so you want to say where it's going up. So from left to right, it's going up, up, up until that vertex, which is at an x value of 1. And then starting there, it goes down all the way to the right, so 1 to infinity. Your extrema is a max, and it is at the point 1, 2. Okay, last but not least, x-intercepts. This one actually has 3 x-intercepts, so -3, 0. We're going to have to estimate that. I'm going to call it like 1.8. It's closer to 2 than it is 1, but it's somewhere between the 2, 0, and we also have 4, 0. Even though we have 3 x-intercepts, there's only 1 y-intercept, and that's at 0, 3. Domain and range, you want to say how far left and how far right. It goes down and to the left, down and to the left, down and to the left, so it goes all the way left. It goes up and to the right, so it goes all the way right to infinity. The range is, though, how high and low. Remember, though, this side will go all the way down, this side will go all the way up. So even though there are some like turning points in the middle, it is still going to go from negative infinity to infinity because it goes all the way down and all the way up. Okay, let's now look at increasing and decreasing. Beginning part of your graph is going up, so it's increasing. And then it turns around, and it's going down, so it's decreasing. But then it turns around again, and it goes increasing again. Okay, so the increasing one's going to actually have 2 intervals. From all the way to the left until 1, we do a little union to join it, and go from an x value of 2 to infinity. Whereas the decreasing is just between those 2 x values, that little red part, which is just 1 to 2. Okay, there's an assignment for you to do as well. Good luck.